What is going on, guys? Michael from GPURisers.com, and today we are back in our mining bunker and we are going to be doing a couple different things, so I thought I would shoot a quick video for you guys. Now, in today's video, we are actually going to be adding another 3080 full hash rate to our 3080 full hash rate rig. Now, I keep stumbling over 3080, LHR, full hash rate, all that kind of stuff, and I do want to isolate this one. If you guys do follow us on Instagram, I did post a picture of this. Now, I know that there have been LHR unlocks. At time of filming right now, T-Rex 26.1 is the newest. We are still having issues with LHR cards. It looks like there's possibly a memory leak, but we are watching that very closely. However, before the 100% unlock came out, we got a notification from EVGA's website, from their notify queue, that a notify popped up for us for the RTX 3080 KR edition, which the KR edition is the original full hash rate 3080. Now, probably about over a year ago, the LHR started coming out for the 3000 series graphics cards. And we were in queue for a 3080 for the Win 3, and we got an email saying that you could switch over to the LHR and be in the queue, or if you want to stay in line for the KR model, then they can enter you in for it, but they can't guarantee you a card. And all hope was lost. We haven't heard anything from them, and we were very, very surprised to be able to get an email from EVGA saying that we are now in line for a KR 3080. Now, it made me think, does EVGA just have a couple of these laying around? Has this been a new card for over a year and it just hasn't been for sale or anything like that? So we quickly jumped on it and got it ordered. Now, again, this was before the LHR 100% came out, so we were extremely, extremely excited. And honestly, we still are, with how many issues are happening with the 100% unlock. Just getting a regular full hash rate, not having to jump around the hoops, is very nice to have. But when we unboxed this card, we noticed right at the top it has that original red lip on it, which was very surprising to us, which that makes us think that this might just be an old card. Now, you can see right here, it does say KR, so it is very, very surprising. But again, this might actually be a black lip on this. I'm not sure if they, I think that they did make black lip full hash rate cards, but we are going to unbox this thing. So once we get this thing unboxed, guys, make sure and confirm that this is a KR full hash rate. We are going to stick it onto our RTX 3080 full hash rate rig. Now, this rig has 5 of the original 3080s. None of these are the LHR or anything like that, so all of these are hashing along. I believe the MSI one, this one, is hashing at around 89 or 90. I've tried doing the Supreme BIOS flash, everything like that. That card just will not budge. All the other ones, except for the Gigabyte does thermal a little bit. I should repad that. But all the other ones are relatively okay. Of course, the Further Win 3 has 0 thermal throttling issues, which we're hoping that this is the same. So this frame that we have right here currently has 5 of the cards, as I said before, and we want to add another power supply. However, this is getting a little cramped with the 2 power supplies and the RTX 3080s. We do have to put the fans on the back of this frame because these cards are just very long. And for other cards like the 6600s or 6600 XTs, the frame is great. You really don't need anything bigger. But for higher powered cards like this, especially when you start adding in, multiple 1600 watt power supplies, you want a little more room. These cards do have thermal throttling issues, so the more room, the better. And that is why we are going to transfer it over to one of our Omega frames. Now, the reason we are going to do this is we are interested in adding more RTX 3080s, and the odds of getting another KR are extremely low unless, NVIDIA is going to go ahead and cancel this LHR lock that they have on these cards, which in that case, that would be fantastic. But if not, we are probably going to add some 3080 LHRs and stuff like that, or we'll get lucky and get some Founder editions. But we want to make sure that we have enough room to expand that. We did not expect to get 6 on here. We've been waiting about a year for a Founders Edition. Haven't been able to get a Founders Edition 3080, but we did get this KR. So that is why we are going to switch this over to one of our Omega frames. This Omega frame is a little over 8 inches wider and about 4 inches deeper. It gives you tons of room. So we are going to be switching all the parts over. We have 8 fans on this, so we just need to add 2 more to fit the Omega Frames 10. And the motherboard and everything like that will be just fine. We'll bring over the splitters, bring over the risers, bring over everything. So speaking of risers, I did want to do a shout out real quick to a company called GPURisers. Now, they reached out to us on Discord, and it looks like that they have a whole lot of different products that are 3D printed. And they have a couple different products that you can see here. Right here, these are for wire racks. You can actually put the I/O plate of your graphics card right there and hang it from a wire rack. It sadly doesn't work with these larger racks, but it works with almost any standard wire rack that you'd find on Amazon, at the Costco, the regular silver wire racks, and other racks like that. We did test this at home, and it does fit great. And my favorite thing is the riser shields right here. Now you can see right here, this is the thumbnail for the video, and you can see that this is 3D printed, a very high quality 3D print, I do want to add. And it has their name right there. You can't really see it. There you go. It says GPURisers. It's black, so they do have other colors. They did send me red and blue, and it shows you instructions right there. The USB should be pointing out there, and the riser should slide in right here. And you do have to take the foam off the risers. I do have one here. It has a little bit of foam. I left that on there just to show you guys that it does work with a little bit of foam as well. You kind of just got to squeeze it in there. And so let me go ahead and get this clicked on. So it slides in just like that, and you will be able to go ahead and click it all the way in, and it's locked in there. So what's nice about this is, sometimes the foam in high heat will kind of peel a little bit if there's nothing, under the foam. And that goes back to the thick soldering that we do have on our risers. Sadly, there is no perfect way to keep that foam on there. And it is really a give and take. We could have the soldering reduced on the bottom of the boards. However, that does cause more shorts and more DOAs and stuff like that. So we decided to keep the soldering very thick on our boards. But as I've said before, in high heat situations, sometimes the foam will peel a little bit. However, with the riser shields, of course, you take the foam off, and then the bottom is plastic, so you don't have to worry about any metal on metal contact, and it gives the board a nice, sleek look. And we have seen these floating around for a while now, but we have not seen any that were this kind of quality. And by quality, you can always tell with 3D printed, the layers and everything like that. Whatever print settings that they have and whatever printer they're using in the filament is very, very good on these. So thank you so much, GPURisers, for sending these over. We will be utilizing these riser shields on this build, and we will be showcasing them throughout this video and the second part of putting this whole rig together. Now, I have these other cards here. I am going to go ahead and move these. These are for another video that I'm going to do. So we have a 3070 FE here, full hash rate. We have a 3070 LHR for the Win 3, and we have a 1660 Super, and these cards are different. So what we are going to be doing with this is actually putting it on our NVIDIA holding rig, which currently has 4 cards on it. So what we are going to be doing with that is we are going to be switching that to one of these cases. Right now it's only a 6-card frame. It's not enough to hold all the random cards that we have. So this huge mess of wires right here will eventually be our NVIDIA holding rig, and we will do that in another video. So I am going to go ahead and move these off to the side. And then we will get this 3080 unboxed and see if it has the red lip, see if it's a KR on the model, and really see why this was sent, so long after LHR cards were originally released. All right, so I got the knife out, and we are going to unbox this thing. Let me go ahead, get this taken out, do my little ninja move right there, cut that, and let's slide this out. And there it is. All right, guys, we have the card right here. 3080, black lip, so not the red. So maybe the packaging was just a little old. And you can see right here on the back, we do have the KR that's right there. So that's very interesting. But this card does look new. I don't see any signs of usage. I doubt that EVGA would sell directly from their website a card that was used and show that it was new. Interesting. Let me go ahead and take all the plastic wrap off, and we'll be back in a second. So that is the card, guys. I don't see any difference on this compared to the 3080 full hash rate that we've been mining along for quite some time now. I think that this part is silver. I'm not 100%, I can't really remember. I will shut this off and see. I don't remember, I've seen some that are clear. I know that the 3070 Ti is clear right here. You can kind of tell it's a little frosty. This one is not as frosty, it's a little shiny, so I don't know. I think it's the same. I'll see in a second when I shut off the mining rig over there, but yeah, just very surprised that this queue popped on EVGA, very strange. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and clear this off, move this over there and get one of our Omega frames unboxed and built. So I'm gonna do that off camera. I don't wanna bore you guys with building a frame, but we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back and we have our 12 GPU Omega frame all put together, and we also added in a additional 1600 watt power supply from one of our other rigs that we had left over. Now we are going to go ahead and get the 5 RTX 3080 full hash rates put onto the new rig. Now, I keep saying full hash rate. I know the LHRs are fully unlocked now, but I still am going to refer to these as the full hash rates. So I will keep the full hash rates called full hash rates and keep those kind of isolated on the rig by itself. Now, in the beginning of this video, I know I did mention that we have a full hash rate 3080 that we got from EVGA, which is super weird that this would come in this late. I'm not sure why it did. Maybe they just found it. I'm not really going to ask questions at this point, but I am anticipating that the rest of the 3080s that will go onto this Omega rig will have to be Founders Editions. So I know prices on cards are dropping, so I am going to be on the lookout for those. And that is why I added an additional 1600 watt power supply on here. And so I know people will probably be asking, why aren't you putting these in a server case like the R8 or an Octominer X12? And the reason is that I found that higher powered cards actually do a little bit better on open air frames, but that is completely dependent on the environment that you're in. So the environment here in the bunker is kind of hot. We don't really have too much, ways that we can, I guess, direct the air out of here. We are, directing it out through the top there and everything, but some cards in here will just do better where the heat can just sit on the card and float up to the ceiling. And of course, this is a 12 card build, and with 12 cards in an X12, I don't think it'll work with 3080s, especially with EVGA for the Win editions and some of the other editions that we have up there. And so because of that, we will be leaving the 3080s in an open air frame like this. I think in an R8 case, 3080s will be fine, and I will be doing a video on that because those are only 225 watts, 220 watts, and we have some 3070 Ti's here. We will be putting those in R8s as well. Not these, we will be leaving them in the open air, but we are again going to be doing a couple more server case builds. So now that we have all this kind of ready to go, I am going to disassemble this rig, but this is taking me a lot longer than I thought it was, so I am going to cut the video here, guys. And when we come back in the next video, I would like to go over some more GAD-CAD items that they sent us. I know I mentioned these riser cases or riser shields earlier in the video, and we will be utilizing these in this build, but they did send some 1X slot shields that I do want to show you guys. We will again be using these in our build for this, but I will be leaving a link to them down below. I believe that their shop is still on Etsy from the last time that I talked to the owner, but they make just great products. So I will leave that for you guys down below. And in the next video, sorry for splitting this up into two, it's just getting a little late here in the bunker. In the next video, I will be disassembling that whole rig, putting it onto here, then putting this back onto the rack there, and hopefully getting a couple better temps on the VRAM. I'm sure I will, because they will be a little more spread out. And we will, of course, be adding in our 3080 full hash rate that we got from EVGA. But that's going to be everything for this video, guys. I hope everyone watching this has a great rest of their day, and we'll see you guys next time.